Princess Lyra of Virelia sat in her royal chamber, gazing out at the sprawling city beneath her. Towering silver spires caught the light of the twin suns, casting long shadows over the streets. The city shimmered with the hum of technology, hovering vehicles, glowing energy pathways, and elegant drones gliding silently overhead. Everything about Virelia was perfect, precise, and orderly, yet Lyra's mind was not on her kingdom. She was thinking about humans. Humans, the creatures that everyone in her court whispered about in awe. Legendary warriors, they said. Brave, cunning, unstoppable. Humans who could survive the deadliest battles, turn the tide of wars, and achieve the impossible. Lyra had grown up hearing these stories, and she had grown up mocking them. They are just stories, she said aloud, a hint of laughter in her voice. She spoke to her personal advisor, Elder Nira, who stood silently beside her, hands folded. Stories are not, Princess. Humans have proven themselves before. Entire colonies have survived because of them. Nira replied cautiously. Lyra waved a hand dismissively. Please, entire colonies? You mean small groups of humans who stumbled into luck and happened to survive a few skirmishes? They are nothing compared to the strength and skill of a trained Virelian warrior. They would crumble under our tests. Nira frowned but said nothing. He had learned long ago that arguing with Lyra on this topic was useless. She had made up her mind long before any facts could reach her. Lyra stood and walked toward the window, brushing back her silvery hair. Her reflection in the glass stared back at her, sharp, confident, and slightly arrogant. If humans are so remarkable, she muttered, why do they always rely on stories to glorify themselves? True strength shows itself in action, not tales. Her thoughts were interrupted by the soft chime of the royal communicator. Princess Lyra, a human delegation has arrived, a voice said. Captain Eli and his team request an audience. Lyra raised an eyebrow. Humans, here? For diplomacy, I suppose? Her lips curved into a small, knowing smile. This will be interesting. She made her way to the grand hall where the human delegation was waiting. The hall was enormous, with walls of polished crystal and floors that shimmered like liquid metal. Virelian guards lined the edges, their movements precise and perfect. Lyra felt a small thrill of superiority. No human could ever match this level of elegance, she thought. And then she saw them. The humans were small in number, only 5 of them, and they looked ordinary. Their armor was simple, their weapons modest compared to the intricate technology around them. They did not stride with arrogance. They did not radiate power. They simply stood calmly, waiting. Lyra's lips curled into a faint smirk. So this is the legendary human warrior, she thought. How unimpressive. Captain Eli stepped forward, bowing respectfully. Princess Lyra, it is an honor to meet you. We come in peace, seeking friendship between our worlds. His voice was steady, calm, and confident. There was no arrogance, no attempt to dominate. Yet something about him commanded attention. Lyra tilted her head, examining him carefully. He was human, yes, but he moved with a quiet strength that made her curious. Perhaps the legends were not completely false, but she would not admit it, not yet. Welcome to Virelia, she said lightly, her tone polite but teasing. I hope your journey was comfortable. Our planet can be overwhelming for first-time visitors, Eli nodded. It was remarkable, Princess. Your people have achieved wonders here. We hope to learn from you, and perhaps share what we have learned as well. Lyra's smirk returned. Learn from humans, she thought. Do they think they have wisdom to teach me? As the humans were led to their quarters, Lyra lingered in the hall. She watched them closely. There was no nervousness, no hesitation, no fear, just quiet focus and calm awareness. It annoyed her more than she expected. She had imagined humans to be reckless, overconfident, or foolish. These humans were none of those things. That evening, Lyra convened her closest advisors. Prepare a series of demonstrations, she said. We will see if these humans are truly as remarkable as the legends claim. I want to observe them in action, not in polite conversation. Let us test their skills. Her advisors exchanged uneasy glances. Princess, these are diplomats, not soldiers, Elder Nira reminded her. We must respect their status. Tests could be seen as offensive. Lyra laughed lightly, a sound both melodic and dangerous. Oh, Nira, we will not harm them. I only wish to see if the legends are true. It will be enlightening. The next day, Lyra accompanied the humans to the Virelian training grounds. a vast open arena designed to test agility, strategy, and coordination. Soldiers moved with precise grace, performing complex drills that would challenge even the most skilled warrior. Lyra expected the humans to stumble, to falter, to look out of place. She was wrong. Eli and his team observed quietly, their eyes scanning the environment, their minds working in harmony. When the first challenge began, a test of reflexes and coordination, the humans moved together seamlessly. They anticipated each other's actions, adapted instantly to unexpected changes, and completed the task with efficiency that made Varelian soldiers pause in surprise. Lyra's brow furrowed. How? She wondered. She could not understand how humans could read each other's movements so naturally, or adapt to the arena's complexity so quickly. She tried to hide her astonishment behind a neutral expression, but even her advisors noticed. By the end of the day, Lyra felt something she had never expected, a tinge of respect. She had mocked humans all her life, laughed at their stories, and assumed their legends were exaggerations. But here they were, performing feats that required intelligence, teamwork, and courage, not just raw strength. Yet she would not admit it. Not yet. Pride was still her shield, and she would cling to it. That night, as she lay in her chamber staring at the ceiling, she thought about what she had seen. Humans were not what she expected. They were different, clever, adaptable, and quietly confident. She realized that the legends, however exaggerated, had a kernel of truth. A knock at the door startled her. It was Elder Nera. "Princess, I advise caution. These humans may be more than you think. Their legends exist for a reason." Lyra sat up, her eyes glinting. "Perhaps," she said softly, almost to herself. "Perhaps I have underestimated them." She lay back down, staring at the twin suns as they dipped below the horizon. For the first time in her life, Lyra wondered what it truly meant to face a human warrior, and what she might learn from one. The night was quiet, but Lyra's mind raced. Tomorrow she would watch them again. Tomorrow she would see if the legends were real in battle. The next morning, Princess Lyra awoke with a mixture of excitement and skepticism. She could not deny the spark of curiosity that humans had ignited within her, though her pride kept her from admitting it aloud. Today she would observe them again, this time in a more serious setting. News had arrived late in the night. A rival faction on the outskirts of Veralia was conducting a large-scale training exercise near the capital. Though meant to be harmless, the exercise created an opportunity for the humans to demonstrate their abilities beyond the controlled environment of the training grounds. Lyra descended to the command hall, where maps of the city and surrounding terrain glowed on enormous holographic displays. Soldiers and advisors hustled to coordinate with the human delegation. "Princess, the humans have volunteered to assist in the exercise," Elder Nera said carefully. "This could provide valuable insight into their capabilities." Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile. "Very well. Let us see if their legends hold in the real world." She approached the humans with a measured air of curiosity, though internally she expected minor displays of competence at best. Captain Eli greeted her with a calm bow. "Princess Lyra, we will do our best to assist. We understand the importance of this exercise to your people." Lyra studied him closely. His demeanor was unchanged from the day before. Calm, confident, composed. No sign of arrogance, no unnecessary display of strength. It was as if he carried an invisible weight of responsibility, and yet moved with ease. Lyra found herself watching him longer than she cared to admit. The exercise began with a scenario simulation, a rival faction attempting to breach the city's defenses. The humans were placed with Varelian soldiers and asked to support the defense. Though Lyra assumed they would need guidance, she was wrong. From the moment the exercise began, Eli's team displayed extraordinary coordination. Each human anticipated the other's moves, creating a flow that was almost like a dance. They worked not with overwhelming force, but with precision, creativity, and strategy. One Varelian soldier approached Eli hesitantly. "Captain, do you require instructions for the use of this defense mechanism?" Eli shook his head. "Let's observe first. The machine has patterns we can use. Don't overthink it." Within moments, Eli analyzed the mechanism, noting a subtle flaw in its design. Instead of simply following the manual instructions, he devised a method to maximize its efficiency, ensuring that the city's defense remained strong while minimizing energy waste. The Varelian soldiers stared in disbelief as he executed the plan flawlessly. Lyra's brow furrowed. How can a human do this so easily? She thought. Every move Eli made seemed effortless, but it was clear that thought, observation, and intuition guided him. Not raw strength, but strategy and intelligence. As the exercise progressed, another challenge emerged. A small group of Varelian drones malfunctioned, moving unpredictably toward the city. Panic began to ripple through the Varelian soldiers, but Eli remained calm. Stay calm, he instructed. We can redirect them without damage. Focus on coordination. He divided his team into pairs, assigning tasks with precision. Humans and Varelian soldiers worked together, using clever tools and careful timing to guide the drones away from populated areas. The operation was smooth, efficient, and completely safe. Lyra watched in silent astonishment. She had never seen humans operate with such composure under pressure. They did not panic. They did not try to force their way through obstacles. They adapted. They thought ahead. And they cared about the outcome, not just their personal glory. A small crowd of Varelian soldiers began whispering among themselves. I never thought humans could do this, one murmured. They are remarkable. Lyra felt a flicker of something unfamiliar. Envy, perhaps, mixed with admiration. She clenched her fists, determined not to show it. I am still a Varelian princess, she reminded herself. I will not be impressed so easily. But as the day continued, the humans continued to defy her expectations. Next came the terrain navigation test. The city's training ground was filled with complex obstacles. Walls, narrow pathways, energy barriers, and shifting platforms. Varelian soldiers relied on their speed and precise training. But the humans approached the course differently. They paused, observed, and adapted, finding routes that were efficient, clever, and unexpected. Lyra noticed something that surprised her further. Captain Eli did not just focus on completing the course, he helped others along the way. When a Varelian soldier stumbled or struggled with an obstacle, Eli offered guidance, steady hands, and encouragement. Unlike the Varelians, who prized perfection and individual excellence, the humans valued teamwork and collaboration. Lyra's chest tightened slightly. She had always believed that strength was measured by skill, speed, and victory. Yet here she was, witnessing humans achieve far more by working together, thinking creatively and supporting one another. During the final part of the exercise, a simulated breach occurred near the city's core energy hub. Sensors indicated a critical failure that could have destroyed a sector of the simulation. Varelian soldiers panicked, their voices rising in fear. Eli stepped forward calmly. Follow my lead. We will neutralize the threat and stabilize the system. No one gets hurt if we work together. Lyra held her breath as she watched him. His team moved with precision and confidence, communicating silently through gestures and glances. Each human anticipated what the others needed before they asked. Even when a complication arose, a shifting energy conduit threatening to cut off their path, Eli calmly redirected his team, rerouted the power flow, and completed the task. By the time the exercise ended, the arena was filled with silence and awe. Varelian soldiers and advisors were staring at the humans in disbelief. Captain Eli and his team stood calmly as if they had merely taken a walk in the park. Lyra remained frozen in place. For the first time, she did not know what to think. The humans had not relied on brute strength or advanced technology. They had relied on their minds, their instincts, and their teamwork. And they had succeeded brilliantly. She felt a strange sensation rising in her chest, a combination of admiration, disbelief, and something else she could not name. Pride, surprise, respect, perhaps all three. Elder Nira approached quietly. Princess, you see now why the legends speak of humans with such reverence, he said softly. Lyra turned to him, her eyes narrowed, voice controlled but thoughtful. I see something I cannot explain yet. These humans, they are not what I expected, but are they truly legendary? Or is this just skill honed by practice? Nira smiled faintly. Legends are built from truth, Princess. And humans? They often turn the impossible into the ordinary. Lyra looked back at the humans, who were now helping Varelian soldiers tidy the arena, their calm composure untouched by the excitement and tension of the exercises. Captain Eli met her gaze for a moment, offering a quiet, respectful nod. Lyra felt a flicker of Challenge in that gesture. It was not a challenge of arrogance or dominance. It was a challenge to recognize the truth. For the first time in her life, Lyra wondered if she had been wrong all along. Perhaps humans were not weak, clumsy, or dependent on luck. Perhaps the legends were more than exaggerations. Perhaps they had a power she could not yet measure. She clenched her fist behind her back, pacing slowly. "I must see more," she murmured to herself. "I must see them in a true test, a real battle. Then I will know the truth." That evening, as she returned to her chamber, Lyra felt a strange mixture of excitement and unease. The humans were calm, polite, and unassuming. And yet their presence had shaken her confidence, her assumptions, and even her pride. She could not deny it. She was curious. Curious to see humans again. Curious to see what they could do in a real challenge. Curious to understand the source of their legends. Lyra lay on her bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the day's events in her mind. The humans had outperformed expectation after expectation, yet they remained humble, patient, and composed. They had not sought glory, only to act with purpose and intelligence. Her thoughts turned inward, and she realized something important. She had never truly understood humans. She had mocked the stories, dismissed their legends, and assumed she was superior. But now she could no longer dismiss them. A quiet determination settled over her. She would witness the truth herself, and she would learn what it truly meant to face a human warrior. And deep down, despite herself, a small part of her felt eager to see if the legends were true, eager to see what humans could do. The sun rose over the Varelian city, casting long golden streaks across the crystal towers. Princess Lyra walked along the balcony of the royal palace, her thoughts tangled. For days she had observed the humans. Captain Eli and his team had exceeded every expectation, demonstrating skills and intelligence that were almost impossible to believe. Yet their composure, their humility, and their teamwork unsettled her more than their abilities ever could. She had mocked the stories of human warriors all her life. She had laughed at their supposed courage, their cleverness, their capacity for survival. Yet now, having witnessed them firsthand, she was forced to reconsider everything she thought she knew. The day promised a new series of exercises, this time far more complex and unpredictable than before. Lyra descended to the training arena, where her advisors, soldiers, and the human delegation were already assembled. "Today," Lyra announced, trying to keep her tone neutral, "we will test the humans in scenarios closer to real-world situations. Observe carefully and remember, these exercises are designed to challenge their ingenuity, teamwork, and adaptability." Eli nodded respectfully. "Understood, Princess Lyra. We are ready." The first scenario involved rescuing civilians from a simulated disaster. Robots represented collapsing buildings, and energy barriers blocked direct paths. Virelian soldiers approached with precision and confidence, relying on their superior technology and training. The humans, however, paused to assess the environment. They examined the paths, noted potential hazards, and devised a plan that no Virelian could predict. Lyra watched in astonishment as Eli directed his team. "Mira, take the left flank. Jonah, guide the civilians through the narrow path. I'll handle the barriers with the tools over there." Without hesitation, the humans moved in perfect harmony. Their teamwork was seamless, almost instinctive. When one member encountered an unexpected obstacle, a fallen beam or a malfunctioning barrier, another immediately adjusted to help, redirecting civilians or assisting with tools. Within minutes, the civilians were rescued, the danger neutralized, and not a single simulated casualty occurred. The Virelians were stunned. Many had assumed humans relied on luck or brute force to achieve success. But here was a group of humans solving problems creatively, carefully, and efficiently without unnecessary risk. Lyra felt her chest tighten. She had expected chaos, mistakes, or visible struggle, yet the humans had acted with calm certainty, turning a complex scenario into a choreographed triumph. "Remarkable," Elder Nira whispered beside her. "They are exceptional." Lyra did not respond. She did not want to admit her awe, not yet. Instead, she kept her eyes fixed on Captain Eli. She noticed something subtle. He was always aware of everyone around him. He did not rush. He did not panic. Every decision, every movement was deliberate, thoughtful, and precise. Next came the strategic obstacle course, designed to test creativity under pressure. Energy barriers shifted, platforms moved unpredictably, and sensors created false signals to confuse participants. Varelian soldiers attempted to navigate it with speed, precision, and force, but the humans approached differently. Eli observed the environment carefully. We need to find patterns in the barriers. If we rush, we risk failure. Let's think, then move, Lyra frowned. Thinking instead of acting? She wondered. How will that help them in real challenges? Yet as the humans moved, their method proved flawless. By anticipating changes, communicating silently through subtle gestures and adjusting to obstacles instantly, they completed the course faster and with fewer mistakes than any Varelian team. Lyra's eyes widened. She had expected them to struggle, to falter, to make errors. They had done none of these things, and there was more. During the exercise, a critical moment arose. A simulated energy conduit malfunctioned, threatening to collapse part of the arena. Varelian soldiers hesitated, unsure how to act without causing further damage. Eli, however, assessed the situation calmly. Do not panic, he instructed. We can redirect the energy safely. Jonah, Mira, follow my lead. Working quickly but carefully, the humans rerouted the energy flow using simple adjustments, communicating silently, and preventing a catastrophe. The entire team moved as one, anticipating each other's needs without words. Lyra's breath caught. She had never seen such skill or such calm courage in her life. Humans, she realized, did not need overwhelming power to achieve greatness. Their strength lay in their minds, their instincts, and their ability to work together. After the exercises, the humans assisted Varelian engineers in repairing the arena. While the Varelians marveled at their problem-solving, Lyra could not stop watching Eli. He did not seek attention. He did not demand praise. He simply acted with purpose and integrity, quietly inspiring those around him. Lyra felt a stirring of something unfamiliar, admiration mixed with awe. For the first time, she truly understood the essence of the human legends she had mocked. It was not their size, their weapons, or their strength that made them extraordinary. It was their courage, intelligence, and humanity. Later, as the sun set, Lyra found herself walking alongside Eli. The human captain moved with calm assurance, yet there was a gentleness in his demeanor that contrasted sharply with his remarkable abilities. Princess Lyra, Eli said, breaking the silence, I hope today's exercises have been useful. We do not seek glory, only to act with purpose. Lyra hesitated, then nodded. They have shown much. I had underestimated humans. I see now that your legends may not be exaggerations. Eli smiled faintly. Legends often grow from truth, Princess. We humans achieve what we can, but our greatest strength is in cooperation and careful thought. Lyra looked away, her pride struggling against the truth she had just admitted to herself. Cooperation and cleverness. Not brute force, not technology alone. Exactly, Eli replied. Strength is not just in power. It is in thinking, adapting, and caring for those around you. Lyra's heart raced. She had spent her life believing that strength came from training, precision, and authority. Yet here was proof that humans, small and seemingly ordinary, could achieve the impossible through intelligence, empathy, and unity. That night, Lyra sat in her chamber, replaying the day's events in her mind. She remembered how Eli had calmly redirected the energy conduit, how the humans had navigated the obstacle course flawlessly, and how they had assisted others without seeking recognition. She felt a mixture of awe, respect, and something she could not name. I have mocked them all my life, she thought, and yet they have shown me what true greatness looks like. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. Elder Nira entered, bowing slightly. Princess, the humans have requested a meeting to discuss tomorrow's challenges. They wish to propose a scenario that may test their abilities further. Lyra's eyes gleamed. Very well. Let them come. I want to see if they can truly handle a challenge that cannot be predicted. As she prepared for the meeting, she felt a quiet excitement. Tomorrow would reveal more. She would finally witness humans not just as warriors or strategists, but as true legends in action. And deep down, she could not deny the small, thrilling thought that she was beginning to admire them, even if her pride kept her from saying it aloud. For the first time, Princess Lyra realized that humans were not just stories or myths. They were living proof of courage, intelligence, and unity. The morning sun bathed the city of Varelia in soft gold as Princess Lyra made her way to the training arena once more. The events of the past few days weighed heavily on her mind. The humans had defied every expectation, navigating complex exercises with calm intelligence and teamwork. And yet they had done so with humility, never seeking praise, never boasting, only acting with purpose. Lyra's curiosity had grown into something more. She could not deny it. She respected them. But pride kept her from openly admitting it. Still today, she hoped to learn even more, not as a skeptic, but as an observer who wished to understand the truth behind the human legends. Captain Eli and his team were already at the arena, preparing a demonstration of strategy and problem-solving for the Varelian advisors. Eli noticed Lyra approaching and bowed politely. "Princess Lyra," he greeted, his voice calm yet warm. "We have designed a scenario that will test teamwork, creativity, and decision-making." Lyra nodded, feeling a strange mix of anticipation and apprehension. "I will watch carefully. I want to see how humans handle a situation where nothing is predictable." The scenario began with a simulated city-wide crisis. Energy systems were failing across multiple sectors. Drones were misdirected and civilians were trapped in various areas. Unlike previous exercises, no instructions were given. The humans had to assess, plan, and act on their own. Eli immediately divided his team into groups. "Mira, you and I will handle the energy conduits. Jonah, guide the civilians in Sector 5. Talia, oversee communication and coordinate all movements." Lyra watched, fascinated as the humans moved. Unlike Varelian soldiers who often relied on pre-programmed routines, the humans adapted continuously, responding to each new challenge as it arose. A malfunctioning drone barreled toward a simulated civilian sector. Varelian soldiers froze, unsure how to redirect it without causing harm. Eli stepped forward calmly. "Stay focused," he said. "We will redirect it safely. Watch my lead." With a series of quick, precise movements, Eli rerouted the drone, using its own sensors to guide it away from the civilians. The other humans coordinated simultaneously, ensuring that all areas were safe. Not a single casualty occurred. Lyra felt her chest tighten in amazement. She had never seen such control, foresight, and precision in any warrior, Varelian or otherwise. And yet the humans showed no signs of arrogance or pride. They simply did what needed to be done. As the exercise continued, more challenges arose. Energy conduits overloaded, barriers shifted unexpectedly, and pathways collapsed. Each time the humans assessed, planned, and adapted, often solving problems in ways that Varelian engineers would not have considered. Lyra's mind raced. They are clever beyond imagination, she thought. Not only in strength, not only in combat, but in thought, strategy, and teamwork. This is the essence of the legends. After the exercise, Lyra approached Eli. "Captain Eli," she said carefully, "your team has performed beyond what I imagined. I did not understand humans before. Now I see your strength, but also your intelligence and wisdom. How do you achieve this?" Eli smiled gently. "Princess, humans rely not only on physical skill, but on observation, empathy, and cooperation. We consider the needs of others, anticipate problems, and work together. Strength is not measured by dominance, it is measured by results achieved without unnecessary risk or harm." Lyra nodded slowly, absorbing his words. She realized that the humans' greatness was not just in their actions, but in their philosophy. They were strong because they thought carefully, valued teamwork, and cared for the outcome. Over the next few days, Lyra spent more time with the human team. She observed their exercises, asked questions, and even participated in strategy discussions. At first, she kept her distance, unwilling to show too much admiration. But gradually, she began to learn from them, noticing patterns in their decision-making and reasoning she had never considered. Eli encouraged her subtly. "Princess, strength is not always about skill alone. Sometimes knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to collaborate is what matters most." Lyra thought about her own training, the pride of her people, and the rigid methods of Varelian soldiers. She realized how limited her understanding had been. Humans approached problems differently, creatively, patiently, and with compassion. They considered the whole picture, not just their own performance. That afternoon, a real test presented itself. A neighboring Varelian faction, notorious for aggression and cunning, challenged the city to a friendly but high-stakes strategy competition. The humans were invited to participate, not as soldiers, but as strategic partners. Lyra's advisors worried. fearing that allowing humans to take part would be risky. But she insisted, "They have earned the right to contribute. I wish to see how humans perform in an unpredictable, high-pressure situation." The competition began. The humans studied the terrain, assessed the strengths and weaknesses of both teams, and devised a plan that combined strategy, adaptation, and teamwork. Eli guided his team with subtle instructions, anticipating moves from both sides. Lyra watched in awe as the humans executed their plan. When a Virelian faction tried a clever maneuver to block their progress, the humans responded creatively, using the environment, technology, and teamwork to circumvent the obstacle. When another unexpected complication arose, an energy barrier malfunction, they adjusted instantly, redistributing tasks and ensuring that every objective was met. Not a single member faltered. Their calm, precise movements contrasted sharply with the tense, reactive behavior of Virelian soldiers. By the end of the competition, the humans had achieved victory without harming anyone, demonstrating ingenuity, foresight, and coordination. The Virelians were stunned, and Lyra could not help but feel a surge of admiration. She approached Eli privately. "Captain, today you have shown me more than skill or cleverness. You have shown me the essence of what it means to be a warrior. Humans are remarkable in ways I did not understand." Eli nodded humbly. "Thank you, Princess. But we do not act for praise. We act because it is right, because it helps others, and because we can achieve more together than alone." Lyra felt her heart swell with respect. She realized that humans were not just capable warriors, they were teachers, showing her and her people new ways to think, act, and lead. That evening, Lyra invited the human team to the royal garden. The setting sun cast warm hues over the crystalline fountains and flowering plants. For the first time, Lyra spoke to them not as a princess judging warriors, but as someone eager to learn. "Captain Eli, Mira, Jonah, Talia," she began, her voice steady yet warm. "I wish to thank you. You have shown me the true meaning of courage, intelligence, and teamwork. I had mocked the legends of human warriors, and yet, you have proved them real, not through force but through thought, strategy, and cooperation." The humans exchanged glances, their expressions modest. Eli spoke for them. "Princess Lyra, we are honored. Humans achieve what they can, but the greatest lessons are learned through understanding and collaboration. We are glad to share what we know." Lyra smiled genuinely. For the first time, she felt a deep connection, a trust and admiration that went beyond observation. She realized that humans had not only proven their strength, they had earned her respect and friendship. Over the following days, Lyra continued to work closely with the humans. She learned their methods of planning, observation, and teamwork. She practiced thinking like they did, considering the needs of the many rather than relying solely on her own training. With every exercise, she felt herself growing, not just as a princess, but as a leader and a strategist. One evening, as they walked through the palace corridors, Eli spoke quietly. "Princess Lyra, the true measure of a warrior is not only skill or strength. It is the ability to inspire others, to guide them, and to act wisely under pressure. You have the potential to be such a leader." Lyra's heart beat faster. No one had ever spoken to her this way, with such respect and encouragement. She realized that humans were not only warriors, they were mentors, friends, and allies. As the stars appeared over Virelia, Lyra looked at the humans and thought, "I have been wrong." The legends were true, and yet they are more than legends. They are real, living examples of what humans can achieve. And I am lucky to witness it. The bond between Lyra and the human team grew stronger. She began to trust their judgment, value their insight, and rely on their guidance. The princess who once mocked humans had transformed into a leader eager to learn from them, to understand them, and to champion their abilities. That night, Lyra reflected on the journey she had taken. She had started with skepticism, moved through amazement, and now felt deep respect and friendship. The humans had taught her that true strength was not in pride or dominance, but in intelligence, cooperation, and compassion. The city of Virelia buzzed with activity as dawn broke over the crystalline towers. Princess Lyra walked among her people, her thoughts centered not on pride but on learning, understanding, and preparing. Over the past days, humans had taught her more than any Virelian mentor ever could. Lessons of intelligence, teamwork, courage and humility. She remembered how she had once mocked the stories of human warriors, laughing at the legends that her advisors revered. Now she could not only see the truth in those legends, she felt it in every fiber of her being. Humans were extraordinary, not because they were stronger than Varelians, but because they were clever, resourceful, and compassionate. Today would be the ultimate test. A nearby hostile faction, one known for aggression and cunning, had launched a simulated invasion as part of an interplanetary training exercise. This time humans would not merely observe or assist, they would lead a critical operation. Lyra approached the command hall, her mind sharp, her determination clear. Captain Eli and his team were already present, analyzing maps and discussing strategies with Varelian advisors. Princess Lyra, Eli greeted her with a slight bow. We are prepared. The scenario is unpredictable, but we can coordinate a solution. Lyra nodded. This is the challenge I have been waiting for. I want to see humans in a true leadership role. I want to witness the essence of your legends. The exercise began. The hostile faction advanced swiftly, using clever tactics to bypass defenses. Varelian soldiers responded with trained precision, but the humans approached the situation differently. Eli immediately assessed the battlefield, noting patterns, potential risks, and areas where civilians might be affected. Divide into groups, he instructed. Mira, handle reconnaissance. Jonah, manage communication. Talia, oversee logistics. I will coordinate the response and adjust strategies as needed. Lyra watched in awe as humans took command without asserting dominance. They led with calm authority, encouraging Varelian soldiers rather than ordering them, allowing each person's strengths to shine. A sudden complication arose. An energy barrier protecting a key sector malfunctioned, threatening to trap the civilians in the simulation. Varelian soldiers hesitated, unsure how to fix it quickly. Eli did not panic. Princess Lyra, he said quietly, observe closely. The solution is not force, it is strategy. Eli directed his team to reroute the energy flow using a combination of simple tools and clever maneuvers. Each member moved instinctively, anticipating one another's actions without words. Within minutes, the barrier was stabilized and the civilians were safe. Lyra felt her heart race. She had seen humans perform brilliantly before, but this was different. They were not just executing skills, they were thinking, leading, and inspiring others. Every action reflected intelligence, courage, and empathy. As the simulated invasion continued, the humans demonstrated ingenuity at every turn. When a tactical trap was set, they avoided it using clever distractions. When obstacles blocked their path, they created new solutions on the fly. When soldiers grew uncertain, they offered guidance, calm reassurance, and encouragement. Lyra realized she had never truly understood humans before. They were not just warriors, they were leaders, thinkers, and problem solvers. And through every move, every decision, every gesture, they proved the legends true beyond expectation. By the end of the exercise, the humans had not only neutralized the threat, but had done so without unnecessary harm to civilians or soldiers. They had turned chaos into order, confusion into clarity, and danger into a demonstration of clever strategy and teamwork. Lyra approached Eli afterward. Her voice was calm but firm, carrying the weight of her realization. Captain Eli, I was wrong. I mocked humans, doubted your abilities, and dismissed your legends. But today, you and your team have shown me the truth. Humans are not only warriors, they are wise, courageous, and remarkable beyond measure. Eli nodded humbly. Princess Lyra, we do not act for recognition or praise. Humans achieve what they can and we help each other along the way. We are honored to have shared our abilities with you and your people. Lyra's eyes softened. For the first time she felt genuine gratitude and respect, not just for their skills but for their character. She realized that humans were worthy not only of admiration, but of friendship and alliance. Over the next days, Lyra worked closely with the humans, learning their methods of observation, planning, and teamwork. She began to teach Varelian soldiers to think differently, to value collaboration over individual perfection, to approach challenges with strategy rather than force. Slowly, her kingdom began to embrace the lessons humans had imparted. One evening, as the twin sun set over the city, Lyra walked alongside Eli through the palace gardens. The fountains glimmered, reflecting the soft light, and the air was calm. Princess, Eli said, you have adapted quickly. You understand not only what humans can do, but also why we act as we do. That is a mark of true leadership." Lyra smiled, a genuine warmth in her expression. "Captain Eli, you have taught me more than I ever expected. I once thought humans were weak, reliant on luck or stories. Now I see that true greatness comes not from force or perfection, but from intelligence, compassion, and teamwork." Eli inclined his head. "That is correct, Princess. Humans achieve through cooperation and careful thought, and now you have the wisdom to guide others in a similar way." Lyra's heart swelled with pride, not her old pride, the kind rooted in superiority, but a new pride born of understanding, growth, and respect. She had transformed, guided by the humans she had once underestimated. The city celebrated the conclusion of the exercises. Virelian soldiers cheered, not just for the humans, but for the lessons learned, the collaboration achieved, and the bond formed. Humans and Virelians had worked together, overcoming every obstacle with intelligence, courage, and unity. In a private ceremony, Lyra approached Eli. "Captain, I wish to acknowledge your contributions publicly. Humans deserve to be remembered as true legends, not just in stories, but in history. You have earned a permanent place in Virelian lore." Eli bowed gracefully. "Princess Lyra, your recognition honors us. But it is not recognition we seek. We act because it is the right thing to do. That is the greatest reward." Lyra nodded, understanding fully. Humans did not seek glory. They did not act for personal gain. They acted with purpose, wisdom, and empathy, the qualities that made them legendary. As the stars appeared above Viralia, Lyra reflected on the journey she had taken. She had begun as a skeptic, mocking the legends she had heard since childhood. She had watched humans perform tasks with intelligence and courage, gradually transforming her disbelief into awe, respect, and friendship. Now she realized that humans were more than warriors. They were teachers, allies, and examples of what courage, ingenuity, and morality could achieve. And in learning from them, she had grown, not only as a princess, but as a leader, a strategist, and a person capable of seeing the world in new ways. The human delegation prepared to leave Viralia, their mission complete. Lyra stood at the edge of the landing platform, watching as Eli and his team boarded their ship. She felt a mixture of gratitude, admiration, and a quiet sadness. They had taught her so much, yet now they would leave. Eli turned and gave her a respectful nod. "Princess Lyra, may your people continue to thrive. Remember, true strength lies not in force, but in intelligence, cooperation, and courage." Lyra raised her hand in farewell, smiling. "Captain Eli, thank you for everything. You have changed how I see the world and humanity. I will never forget the lessons you have shared." As the ship lifted into the sky, Lyra felt a sense of closure and a sense of possibility. Humans had shown her the truth of their legends. They had proven that courage, ingenuity, and unity could achieve what seemed impossible. And they had left behind a legacy of understanding and inspiration that would endure in Viralia for generations. Walking back into her palace, Lyra felt lighter, wiser, and stronger, not from her own abilities alone, but from the lessons she had learned from humans. She knew that she would teach these lessons to her people, sharing the wisdom of humans and ensuring that their legends would be honored for centuries. For Princess Lyra, the skeptic had vanished. In her place stood a leader inspired, transformed, and enlightened by the incredible humans she had once doubted. She had laughed at their legends, but now she understood the truth. Humans were extraordinary. Humans were brilliant. Humans were legendary.